I'd like you to keep in mind that as you work on getting really good at your horse loading in the trailer and being settled in the trailer, I'd think of that as working on, a mastery of that, really getting good at it, getting your horse good at it. This is a place to build trust. This is a place to ask your horse to do something that maybe they're a little afraid of or a little uncertain of, or maybe they're a little spoiled and they just don't want to do it. All these things can come up in the trailer, and the trailer seems to bring out these sensitive areas of the horse as well as anything. But the way you go about offering, the way you go about preparing and setting this up, leading this dance, make sure you're leading. You're not just wishing and hoping your horse is going to go in, but you know your horse is going to go in. It may not be today, but your horse is going to go in because of the way you're offering and the trust and the communication that you're using with your horse. Now, the panels I've set up here, I'm thinking of representing the trailer, and there's probably a gateway in this first panel, and I've left the end pretty open so you can see the other side as well in here, but the other panels are just holding that one up. The panel inside, away from us, kind of represents the wall of a trailer, and I may take that tarp and put it up next to the gateway here after we go through a few times to represent the side of a trailer. Use your imagination. You could come up with all kinds of things. Tighten up the enclosure, use more overhead, use more on the ground. There's a bar on the ground on these panels, and there's a bow over the top, which represents your horse going through something or over through an obstacle where something's overhead. Might lightly represent the lid or the roof in the trailer. So use your imagination. These are just little things I came up with to help you out, and you may take this a lot further. Now, there are ways with your timing and your feel and the way of offering horse that in 30 minutes you should probably be able to get most any horse in a trailer without the stress, without forcing. But that takes a bit of understanding of the horse, and you can see a lot of clinicians, and we've done it too, loading horses in trailer without all this preparation, but the same idea goes into it. So we've really broken this down and put in many little pieces for you to think about and observe and how you might prepare your horse for the trailer. Again, don't wait until you have an emergency. You've got to get your horse to the vet to get your horse good about loading in the trailer. Your weanlings, probably a good idea to get them used to getting in and out of the trailer by themselves. And you can sure do it as a process of your early training with your horses. So I'm going to approach this as if it were a trailer. And I'm thinking about, even now, I'm thinking about sending Madison through that gate. So I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to be paying more attention to her than anything. I can feel where she is on the end of this lead. If need be, I can look back and see how things are. So if this were my trailer door and I opened it, you can kind of see what she's doing here. And if she were not looking in there out of curiosity or out of a willingness to go, I might work on getting her kind of lined up to where she can see this space here. Now going back to your lead by and your groundwork, and here we go back to your lead by exercise, sending your horse on a straight line. This is what I'm going to use here. Now, if she'd never been through this gateway or never been in a trailer before, I might choose the option of leading the way, having her trust me or follow me through the gate. And to do that, I'd go through here like it's no big deal, and I'd be feeling of her and see how she feels about this, and I'd come right on through. All right, so I think she's going to be okay there. We'll go back to the outside again. So I'll just come around the end of this panel. And again, I can practice some of my groundwork here, send her on around, a bit of a circle. And from here, I'd like to see if I could send her through. Now, a lot of horses, when they finally go through here, right at that point, they're going to hurry because they're unsure. They'll hurry. And a bit impulsive also. That's a horse that jumps into the trailer. He's not real comfortable if he's jumping into the trailer. So just to work on the other side, I think I'll just send her through this way. I do like to load my horses, first of all, in an open trailer, a stock trailer, one without dividers. Give them as much room and as much freedom as possible to get comfortable in there. Now I'm going to send her through again. And just like the exercises we did in one of the previous videos, I'm going to see if I can maybe send her through with maybe a foot. She's kind of pushing on me there. She says, no, I want to go on through. All right, so I say, well, how about just waiting here? And now I'll ask her to back up. I'll use my first method of backing on the ground to back her up. And from here, I might just go for a little walk. That was pretty satisfactory there. And if that were her first exposure to the trailer or to a gate, I might just take her for a little walk to show her that she doesn't have to be stuck in there and she can move her feet. You are free to move your feet. That's what this is all about anyway. And we'll get into more of that when we're in the trailer, having our horse move their feet. I don't want them to feel stuck in there. So I'll send her up here. I'm already thinking about her considering and maybe taking a step, 1 foot, and ask her to wait and take a step back. That was nice. She says, now what do you want? How about the other front foot? How about the other front foot? I'll see if I can get this left front foot to step in. She's ready to take that right one. I'd like her to take the left one, just for fun. See if I can do that. I'm going to step through here to see if I can get that left front to come through. Oh, I got the right one again. We'll back her up here. I'll put that foot in front, and now I'll see if I can bring the left foot. This is just something you can play with. So she's there. Now we're there. I'll tip her head a little to her right and see if I can get this other foot. This one, Madison. This foot. Come on, this foot. This foot. Come on. There you go. Okay. So a little something, just kind of making a bit of a game out of this. So I've got her left front foot in. Now we'll get the left and the right. Very nice. Now I'll back her out again. Now keep in mind, when it comes to the trailer, once they're in, especially if you have a straight load, they have to back out. You can't turn them around. And I like to get my horses to where they will back out. I don't want them to feel like they have to turn around or that they're trapped. If they can't back up, and it's easiest to introduce this with just a foot in and back out. We can do that. You see, you can back out of this thing. And 2 front feet in. Good. And you can back out. You can back a foot out. You could bring that foot back in. Teeter, just kind of a little teeter here. That foot. And now this foot. And now back out again. All right? So that's pretty nice. Now let's see if I can maybe bring her in and have her stop halfway. Come in just before the hind feet decide to come in. That right hind may, there we go, okay? And if your horse can settle here, all the better. It'd be nice. Now, at this point, can you teeter her back or forward? Either one. Is she willing? Is she pretty tight? Is she impulsive? If she is, she's probably not going to be so free with those feet. So again, this is preparation. From here, you could go ahead and take her for a little trip, a little walk around. You could do that. That would be just fine. But I might just work on sending her through, and I'd like her to go in nice and easy, not impulsive. I don't want her concerned about the bar on the bottom or the bar on the top. I'll just send her in there. Allow her to turn around. And again, in the trailer, I'd have her backing out, but this exercise can get her going in and out from both sides of my position. Go there, come back here, and just to break it up a little bit, we'll do the same thing going this direction. 1 foot in, 3 feet out, 2 feet in, 3, 4. You can't do too much of this. Keep it interesting though. You don't want your horse to get overly bored with this. So from here, I'm going to make this a little more challenging for my horse, and I'm going to take this tarp, just hang it on the fence. You may come up with some other crazy idea that would work for you, but let her check that out. And this again will represent a little more confinement, preparing your horse for the trailer. I'll send her through here. You can check that out. She says, no problem, I can do that. Okay, so that's pretty nice there. Now, what else could you come up with? Well, when you think about getting into your trailer, there's usually a step up. Now, one of the things you might think about to make it easier on your horse, especially if you have a higher step into your trailer, when you do this, and we'll mention this again with the trailer, but you might back your trailer into a bit of a ditch, so it's not much of a step up. So when you go to back out or step in, it's not as big a step to begin with. In time, they'll get to where they can get right in there with a higher step. We used to see horses years ago, and we didn't have so many trailers. A lot of them were hauled in trucks. And there were some that actually jump up on the flatbed of a truck. So it can be done. All right, so here's something I'm going to do here to represent a little bit more of a step. And this is just the block that we used the other day in one of our videos. So I'm just going to move it into position here as if, and you can see this is about an 8x8 block, probably lower than some trailers, but I'm going to get it right here inside. And I'm going to add that to the scenario here. I'll send my horse out here. Again, my groundwork, put to work. Bring the front across here, yield that shoulder. And I'm thinking right through this doorway to the wall. I've got my mind on that target there. I'm not going to be so much focused on where my horse is looking, although I'd like her paying attention to where her feet go. That's great. And I'll bring her back through here. We will have other horses at times that we can show this. Horses that maybe aren't so good at trailer loading or need a little help with that. So there's a little obstacle to play with. Though we did part of this in a previous shoot, I'm going to ask her to, I'm going to be a little closer here. I'm going to ask her to take a step in and wait. There's 2. So you see, even she wants to go on through. She doesn't want to stand here in the middle. A little more of an obstacle, a little more challenging for her. And it may be a lot more challenging for your horses. It may be no challenge at all. But if you can stop midway, if you can get 1 foot in, 1 foot in, good, and then take that foot out. Nice. Okay. And now we'll go 2 feet again. 1 foot. Help her out here. Good. Don't fall down. Okay. So you'll have all kinds of things happen. And I'll ask you again for her to back out. No hurry. Take your time. All right. That's good there. So now I'm going to send the whole horse in, all 4 feet. And you might have a bit of a challenge backing your horse over that. And I would probably, I'm not going to do this at the moment, but I would probably use something lower, like a 4-inch, like a 4x4 or something like that, that's a little closer to the ground, before I'd ask him to back over that. Just for fun. I am going to go ahead and try it here. She knows the block's there. She stepped over it. Can she pick up her feet to get out over it without tipping it over? Okay, it rolled a bit. It's all right. Trailers move too. Things happen. So I welcome an experience like that for my horse where they can be all right about that. And you just hear her sigh there. So she says, boy, I don't know about your obstacles. All right, so I'm going to put this back in. And then I'm going to grab one more obstacle here. And that would be a grain bag, or in this case, a coffee bag, one of our favorite things. And just for fun, to make overhead a little more interesting, I'm going to put that up there. Use your imagination. You may come up with something. You may think some of these are crazy ideas. I'm just wanting to give you ideas of different things you could try. So she says, you can see her expression. She says, now what? Okay. All right, let's see if we can send you through there with that. Yeah, I know it smells good, doesn't it? Coffee beans. Okay. She said, I'd rather smell oats. All right, let's go through there. There you go. And through she goes. So you can work on that until it gets better and better. The idea is just come up with some things, use your imagination, anything to desensitize your horse to things that might otherwise bother them. In the process, again, number one, you're building trust and a willingness. Through the process, you're going to build confidence in your own ability, and your horse is going to build confidence in you as well. If you're having to force this, if you're having to lose your cool at all, best to just go to the house and leave it for another day. And I mean that seriously. If you're having to revert to force, you're probably going the wrong direction and actually being counterproductive. And we see that a lot. And if you've been around the horse world, you've seen a lot of people, unfortunately, just beating their horses into the trailer. And out of fear, the horse will get in the trailer. Then he's troubled in the trailer. And the real unfortunate thing is other people are watching this and seeing that the horse is getting in the trailer. So for some, they see that as the way to load. I don't see that as the way to load anymore. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this, and thanks for watching.